What is up, everybody? This video is another one of my videos in my I Was There series. This discusses historical events, trends, and technologies that I personally witnessed in the past. So, with that out of the way, let's jump right into the video. This video is going to be about the super cringe-worthy content that I used to watch when I was a kid. But before we jump into ruining my childhood, I gotta give you some background information first. So, my current age is around 16-ish. Now, all of these stories, or at least most of them, are going to take place when I was in the age range of like 8 years old to about 12, 13-ish. Now, I am very old, which means that age range is basically like 2013 to 2018, 2019. Which means this all happened in the distant past. But it ain't so long ago that we didn't have modern technology. So when I was growing up a long time ago, we still had modern technology like YouTube and video streaming services and satellite TV and stuff like that. So yeah, that's out of the way. Now, I'm going to be structuring this video in an interesting way. I'm going to structure this video in 3 different segments, discussing 3 different types of content that I used to watch when I was growing up. The first type of content is going to be YouTube, like YouTube videos and stuff. The second type is going to be TV shows, like you would see on satellite or cable TV, or you would see on a streaming service like Amazon Prime. And the final category is VHS. That you might be thinking, I'm old, but I'm not really old enough to be in like the age range for VHS. But that is a complicated and interesting story that I'm going to save for the end of this video. But basically, the 2 main types of content I'm going to be focusing on is the garbage that I used to watch on YouTube and the garbage that I used to watch on like streaming things and stuff. So, let's start out on YouTube. Now, when I was growing up, we still had YouTube. Now, the whole YouTube Kids thing that's out now didn't exist back then. But there was still cringe-worthy garbage content that was obviously oriented towards younger people that was on the platform. Now, the 2 YouTube channels that I really liked and are real garbage by my standards now are Annoying Orange and this other weird one called Papa Jake. But I'm gonna start off with Annoying Orange. Now, Annoying Orange isn't really that interesting. Mainly because literally everyone watching this video has seen or heard of Annoying Orange. Basically, it's a talking orange. It's literally that stupid. Now, when I was a kid and I was growing up, I had 2 types of my favorite Annoying Orange content. One of those being Annoying Orange how-to videos. Now, Annoying Orange used to, and might still have, this how-to series. And this how-to series was basically like a horrible comedy thing. It was really stupid. It's basically where they would one of the characters would try to host an actual how-to video, and then the annoying orange would end up blowing up the video. It was really cringe and really bad. And the other type of annoying orange video I used to really like when I was growing up is this TV show series. Now, a lot of people think of Annoying Orange as a YouTuber series, but for a brief time, in I think 2012, they had this series on Nickelodeon. Now, I never actually watched it when it was on TV, but 2 or 3 years later after it was on TV, I found the dumped episodes from that series on YouTube. It was on their channel, but it was the TV series. Now, this TV series was different. Like a TV show, they were 20 minutes long instead of the 2 to 3 minutes of the how-to videos. But they were still just as cringy and horrible. So, most of these were rip-offs of other famous TV shows. I remember there was this one episode that was a rip-off of Airplane, and I think there was another that was a rip-off of a murder mystery thing, and they had this, and then there was another episode that was an obvious rip-off of those horrible old Star Trek movies. All of these episodes, all of these made-for-TV Annoying Orange episodes were obvious rip-offs of things that already existed. Now, this Annoying Orange videos were ridiculously stupid. I think they had a flying fruit cart and a bunch of stuff that just made no sense. But that's basically all I have to say about Annoying Orange. So, let's move on to the next cringeworthy train wreck. That being this horrible channel I used to watch called Papa Jake. Now, the name of it is really strange and has nothing to do with the actual content. But this channel used to have survival challenges. This is so horrible. I'm getting war flashbacks.
Bruh.
But anyway, these survival videos were basically all where they went out into their backyard, or in one episode, the woods behind their backyard, and slept and spent the night in a cardboard box. I wish I was joking. I'm not even making that up. They would literally have survival challenges where they would camp out in their backyard in a cardboard box. Yeah, it was a real cringe-worthy disaster. Now, I might show a few clips on screen of this, but I'm not exactly sure if I can find any of the videos or content I'm talking about. So, you might see occasional images or clips of this, or you might not. I really don't know. I have no idea if this channel even still exists. But yeah, another series that I actually thought was really good when I was a kid growing up, but now I realize was probably total cringeworthy garbage, was this weird zombie series. If you don't know, a few years ago, around the time a lot of these things I'm talking about took place, there was this really strange trend. I don't know why, but a bunch of content creators and YouTubers and stuff started making videos about zombies and stuff. And they were putting like weird references about zombies and stuff in their videos. I don't know why this was so trendy and why it disappeared. I have no idea why it was a thing, but for context, at the time I was talking about, every YouTuber was trying to put like zombies in their video for some reason. But basically, this series I'm talking about was where they had a survival challenge during a fake zombie apocalypse.
Bruh.
And the production value of these videos were below zero. But anyway, basically what these series is them surviving a fake like zombie apocalypse. And the acting and stuff when I was a kid, I thought it was amazing, like it was the best video I've ever seen. But now I'm realizing it was a cringe-worthy train wreck. So, in this series, they had these like box tin things I told you about earlier. And they were like fighting off with like Nerf blasters, obviously just them, but with a crappy mask from Amazon. It was bad. And then this zombie apocalypse series went on for a few episodes, and they kept having massive plot holes and just bad content in general. But eventually, this zombie apocalypse series somehow slowly morphed into this like hacker series where they were escaping some like super fake hacker, and then they had like this weird off thing with other YouTube channels to cross-promote it. And this is around the time when I realized their content was a cringe-worthy train wreck, and I pretty much stopped watching their videos. Now, I'm not sure if their content got worse and then I decided to leave, or my standards went up and realized it was cringe-worthy garbage. But anyway, I stopped watching their videos at some point, and now it's many years since I've seen any of that. Now, with the YouTube train wreck out of the way, let's talk about the regular TV shows. Now, I did used to watch some other TV shows that I'm not really going to mention because they weren't really that obscure or interesting. It was just some horrible thing on the PBS channel. But what I am going to talk about is one TV series that I thought was amazing when I was a kid. And that was this TV series called Barnyard. Now, you probably haven't heard of Barnyard. And if you have, you probably know it as the children's movie from like 15 years ago. And you would be correct. It was a children's movie that was relatively popular at the time, so a lot of people probably know about it. But what's less common knowledge is there was actually a TV series based on the movie on Nickelodeon. Now, this TV series was just as horrendously stupid as the actual movie. But I didn't actually watch it on the Nickelodeon channel because it was airing in between like 2008 to 2012 or something. So I ended up actually watching it on Amazon Prime. Now, I have no idea if these shows are even still there. I highly doubt it. Last time I watched them was a few years ago. But basically, it was like, it had 2 seasons. It had season 1 and season 2. And I distinctively remember season 1 was a bit worse than season 2. I mean, when I was a kid, I had no standards, so I didn't care. But season 1 was in like 360p, and season 2 was actually in a decent resolution. Also, I remember all the special episodes, like the Halloween episode, and the Christmas episode, and the Alien Invasion episode were all in season 2. Season 1 didn't really have many special features. Now, back then I actually thought this series was really good, and I watched every episode like 27 different times. Now, I don't know if that's because it was actually pretty good, because I haven't watched it in like 5 freaking years. But when I was a kid, I thought this was like the best piece of video content in history. Now, the reason I thought it was so funny is it was one of those things like Annoying Orange that was so stupid it became funny. Another interesting thing about these Barnyard episodes is one episode was 20 minutes long. And they had 2 seasons, and I think each season had a little bit over 10 episodes. But what was interesting is each 20-something minute episode was divided into 2 pieces. So you basically, every episode was actually 2 episodes. And it was divided into 2 episodes that were both each about 15 minutes long. Now, I think a few of the special features, like few of the special episodes, were one episode where instead of being 2 episodes in one, it was just one entire episode, like a normal TV show. Also, don't quote me on this, but I think there was like one treasure hunting episode or something that was a legitimate 2-parter, like it literally had 2 episodes. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sure if I'm just misremembering stuff because of the confusion about 2 episodes being in one episode. But I think there was one episode in there that was actually a 2-parter that filled 2 entire 20-minute episodes. Also, like that Annoying Orange series I told you from earlier, a lot of these Barnyard episodes, in hindsight, were blatant rip-offs and comedies of already popular stuff. Like that treasure hunting episode I told you about was a blatant sort of inspired rip-off of that movie, The Rat Race. Also, I think a lot of the other episodes, especially the special event episodes, I think a lot of those were also copying other things or taking inspiration from somewhere else. But I couldn't really tell because a lot of the times they took inspiration from like movies no one has ever heard of or something. Like I remember there was like one alien invading episode, and then there was one weird Christmas episode, and there was a Halloween episode. I think those were blatant rip-offs too. But I don't know what they were ripping off because they were probably ripping off some like classic movie from the 40s that no one watched. So yeah, that's basically it. This Barnyard TV show. Now, in the beginning of the video, I told you the 3rd category I was going to talk about was VHS. And now we're getting on to that part. Now, as stated earlier, I'm currently like 16-ish, and I'm talking about stuff that happened like many years ago when I was growing up. But even though I'm really old, I'm not really old enough to be in the age range you would usually expect most people to have experience with VHS would be. Now the reason is, we used to go to a lot of Goodwill. So, back when I was growing up a few years ago, that was around the time that a lot of people started switching to from VHS to DVRs or streaming services or more modern solutions. So, since it was around the time everyone was giving away their VCR to the Goodwill and all their tapes and stuff, and we went to the Goodwill very often, I ended up with a lot of old TVs and old VHS stacks and a lot of old tape. Which is why, till this day, I have a lot of old VHS tapes. Now, there isn't really any interesting content that I remember watching as a kid. I made some cringe-worthy videos myself, I think, at one point with VHS cameras. Also, I think there was this one Looney Tunes tape I really liked that was a weird remix. And there was like one or two other Christmas movies I have on VHS. Like Beethoven, which is the most 90s movie in history. And I think I have like the Grinch movie from like the 1960s, but it's like a 1990s dub onto VHS or something. But other than that, I didn't really have that many interesting or obscure things on VHS. I just thought I would mention it because someone in my age range who had experience with VHS when I was a kid is just really strange and unusual. So yeah, that's basically the end of the video. If you want to subscribe, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. But if you don't feel like subscribing yet, please feel free to check out another one of my videos that our AI overlords say you will like. And with that out of the way, bye!